Have you ever tried learning English through long lists and strict grammar rules, only to feel disconnected from it? At NativeRoad, we believe language becomes real when you feel it, when it's part of a walk, a breeze, or a quiet moment with the world. If you're ready to walk that kind of path, like this video, subscribe, and leave us a comment. Daniel stepped onto the narrow path that ran alongside the River Thames. It was just past sunrise. The sky was pale, tinged with silver and light blue. London was slowly waking up, buses humming in the distance, birds calling from the trees, but here by the river, everything felt still. He walked slowly. The pavement was slightly damp from the night's mist. His shoes made a soft tapping sound with each step. The air was cool, and the breeze brushed gently against his face. It wasn't sharp or cold, just present, like a hand passing softly over his skin. He noticed the scent of water and something earthy, like wet leaves. The river flowed beside him, wide and quiet. It didn't rush. It moved with purpose, slow, strong, steady. Daniel looked out across the water. On the opposite bank, old buildings stood calmly, their windows catching the light. A boat passed silently, leaving small waves behind. A seagull floated above, gliding without sound. He let his thoughts slow down. In his mind, English words began to rise, not from a textbook, but from the world around him. The river was breathing. The wind touched my face like a thought. The morning was speaking without sound. He didn't write them down. He didn't need to. He repeated the sentences quietly to himself, tasting the rhythm. He had studied English for years, memorized phrases, practiced pronunciation, listened to dialogues. But this was different. This felt real, natural, grounded. He saw a bench ahead and sat down. A jogger passed by, nodding politely. A woman walked a dog that stopped briefly to sniff a patch of grass. A cyclist rang a small bell as he rode past, its sound disappearing quickly into the breeze. Daniel looked up at the branches above him. New leaves trembled slightly in the wind, catching small bits of sunlight. He whispered, the trees were listening too. He smiled. He didn't care if the sentence was simple or poetic. It felt right. He thought about how much time he'd spent trying to speak English perfectly. Now, sitting by the river, he didn't want perfection. He wanted connection. He closed his eyes for a moment. Behind them, he pictured the flowing water, the soft sky, the movement of leaves. He said quietly, I am here. The wind knows me. The river hears me. The words weren't from a book. They were his. When he opened his eyes again, a boat was docking nearby. A worker tied the rope to a post, then stretched and looked out at the river as if seeing it for the first time that day. Daniel stood up. He kept walking, slowly, without hurry. The words followed him, not loud, but steady. A sentence formed as he stepped forward, language flows like this river. Not all at once. Just little by little. He said it softly and felt it settle into his memory. By the time he reached the small stone bridge ahead, he had spoken no more than a few lines aloud. But somehow, he felt like he'd practiced more English than he had in weeks. Because this time, it had meaning. In this story, you heard expressions like the river was breathing, the wind touched my face like a thought, and language flows like this river. You also learned how observation and quiet attention can help natural English form in your mind. If this kind of language learning speaks to you, like the video, subscribe to NativeRoad, and leave a comment. When did nature help you feel closer to English? See you in the next video.